It is Talking Reds. I'm Neil Atkinson. I've got Josh Sexton. I've got Mo Stewart. Last night, Arne Slot reportedly went to Anfield. Had a look. Got the tour. Knocked around the place. Thought this looks all right. This builds up to the idea that it doesn't formally start the job until the 1st of June, Mo. No. What I'm quite taken by is, first and foremost, if he's here, as far as I'm concerned, he's broadly speaking started. But also, secondly, I think that we're on a bit of a funny timeline with this. The 1st of June is also a Saturday. I'd point that out. So if there's going to be a press conference or a video, you think it happens before then, on the Thursday or the Friday. I'm trying to sort of get this because then I think that's when we're going to find out about contracts, and in a minute I'm going to let you talk about Mo Salah. So I think that there's this timeline of events that leads us to a certain point, whereas other clubs now are in absolute managerial hell. We'll come on to that. But Slot now, I think we are just waiting for the arrival of Arne Slot before we hear anything else out of Liverpool. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it makes sense for him to want to kind of get his feet in on the ground as much as possible before he talks to us for the first time. So he's got his own thoughts, because he's going to be asked about more than just the football team. He's going to be asked about the city, whether he likes it or not, because of the guy he's following, and he was very much of the city as well. So getting his own ideas about the place, I think, is really important. And I'm just fascinated to see what's going to happen and where it goes. Who knows? But I think Anfield's such a special place, and we all know it's a special place. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him want to be in there and just imagining what it sounds like with 60,000 of us in there bellowing his name.
Absolutely, that is to come for him. As it stands, Josh, if he is getting to know the city, he'll be going from place to place, and people will be saying, "Are you Kev Walsh?" And he'll be trying to work that through.
How tall is he? I'm confused by how tall he is. I think he might be small, on the smaller side.
I think he's about 5'10", 5'11", right. Which is fine. It's just about acceptable in a Liverpool manager.
So, as a centre half, but I think he'll do it for manager.
As a 5'10" man myself, can confirm.
Yeah, it's just about acceptable. We just want to we don't want to lose our minds here, but we can't be so hard line, about the matter. They can't all be as tall as Jurgen. That's
or Kev Walsh.
Or Kev Walsh for that matter. Yeah, that is the part of this, though, as Mo says, is he does need to get his feet on the table. I think there's decisions to be made. I think there's work to be done. I think this is a key part of this. There is the preamble, because it would be good if Liverpool can, wherever they're up to, I think, do things relatively quickly. The Euros start on the 14th of June. They drag on for what looks like almost as long as your basketball, for an absolute eternity. They just go on and on, the Euros, before the business starts again. And I think that, genuinely, I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's cracking on, because I just think there's loads of work to be done already.
Yeah, 100%. There'll be all sorts of dossiers for him to go through, and football for him to
a pre-season friendly. I mean, but that's daft. Exactly, you think they're going to play one somewhere else before they go to the US, but everyone's got to sit down and work that out. He's pulled training forward a week as well for the players who aren't on international duty. That's come for, all this stuff. The nuts and bolts of it before you even get to dossiers and watching games, if you know what I mean.
Well, there's decisions to make around personnel ultimately, and you can sort of look at it in a slightly idealistic way and be like, oh well, he'll want to see all the players first. Well, he may not be afforded that time, because he may come in on the first day and suddenly Kostas Tsimikas knocking at his door saying, I've had this offer from Roma or whoever, and saying, I want to consider it, I want to go, Gaffer. And he's like, well, I've not even had a chance to watch you play football yet, so I can listen to Neil Atkinson call you a doom brain all I like, but what does Neil know?
Very fair.
That's
Principle one.
His dossier on you is first.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are going to be sort of big decisions to be made around the place, and obviously Liverpool have the reason they provided such a foundation for him in the background on a sort of unprecedented level of Liverpool now in terms of the structure that is behind the manager. I think is to help him in these early stages in particular, and that sort of goes on. The more that goes on over time, I should say, I think that's the more you see sort of Michael Edwards leaning more into it being an FSG role rather than a Liverpool role. I feel like for now it'll be quite heavily Liverpool until whatever happens next happens.
Until feet under the table. We've seen the diagram, and whether or not that's accurate in terms of where responsibilities are, there's something else to point out as well when it comes to the nuts and bolts of the job. 7 coaches have just got off.
Yeah.
They're the ones we know about. Or 7 people involved in that process have just got off. They're the ones we know about. We know he's bringing 3 with him, I think, have currently been made clear. There's 3 coming with him. But you would expect there to be at least the rest of those positions to be filled.
Absolutely.
He needs that support staff. He's got to get that done as well. A lot of this stuff, it sounds remarkably mundane, Mo, but it is literally being the job of Liverpool manager.
And again, it kind of speaks to what I've been saying a lot over the last 6 months in terms of Jurgen. And it's like, we only see such a small percentage of what he's actually got to do. Like, so when he says he's tired, I absolutely believe him, because there's loads that he's got to do, and this is exactly it. In terms of the coaching staff, I'm hearing that Taffarel's probably going to stay, so hopefully that means that he'll maybe be promoted to lead goalkeeping coach, take Achterberg's job. But you're right, there are so many other different points for it to fill, and every one of those micro decisions deserves his full attention, and he's going to be scrutinised upon every single one of them. So it's not like you can just go into a room and just be like, tick, 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 tick.
No,
tick.
I think it's important to say this, Mo. When he, for instance, let's just imagine, I'd be intrigued to know whether or not he's going to have a holiday in all seriousness. Because he might decide not to, and I think that that's perfectly reasonable. Year one in a big job like this to get settled, because what wouldn't surprise me is you've got this thing on the 1st of June, which will be the first proper day. Whichever way that goes, there's then a team of people you need to start working with and collaborating with on Monday, the 3rd of June.
Yes.
And that's right the way through. So what are we doing on nutrition? What are we doing on conditioning? And they're the people that, you can work with as a football club all year round, but he hasn't had all year round. The meetings that you might have normally in April, he's not been able to have. We'll get on to the chaos with those other football clubs at the minute. It look like they're in a similar position, but further behind. But this is where this stuff matters. It genuinely does. You've got to be able to do your job on Monday, the 3rd of June.
Absolutely, because as we said, so many of our players are going to be away at the Euros, and then they're going to have some kind of semblance of holiday, and then pre-season starts. And so we need to have everything set ready for when pre-season starts, for them to come in and go, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. So yeah, I'm like you. I don't think he does get a holiday. I think we might see him pop up at a few venues during the Euros, maybe there, just to see, be on the watching brief of a few others, and that'll have to be a holiday, mate. I'm sorry, but I think it's that important at this stage. And as you say, you've mentioned other clubs who are going through the same thing but are further behind us. We need to take advantage of the fact that we are ahead to make sure that we can hit the ground running as much as possible.
Should we laugh at those other clubs?
Yes, please do.
The Chelsea situation, where supposedly Mourinho's now in the running, it's mad to me. It's mad to me that they've got to the point of, let's call it the way in which it was framed, because I think if it is, in a way, I almost think it's worse. Mutual consenting Pochettino. Like, if they sack him because they're mad, at least they've got the agency. If he's been there and he's gone, wouldn't mind this not being my life anymore.
Absolutely.
In a way, all this stuff you're saying you want to do over the summer, in a way, if I support Chelsea, I'd almost just rather he was sacked than mutually consented.
Yeah, absolutely. Because essentially what he's saying is like, it's not me, it's you.
Yeah.
And I think any new manager coming in is going to be fearful of that. But again, you think about how how close to the line Chelsea are in terms of their finances. It's another whole set of coaches. There's another year where they're going to be paying more than one football manager. And it's been the same for like last 4 or 5 years now.
Maybe Pochettino, because he wanted to go, he's now paying them. Maybe that was part of it.
But I'm sure the rest of his staff aren't.
No, I'm sure they're not.
But again, I think just peak Chelsea, I tweeted about this at the time, it's like the fact that they sacked him on the same day of the League Managers Association. So all the managers were there together, and your main man target, Kieran McKenna, getting an award. All of his peers are sitting around him to say, actually, you don't want to be anywhere near that, mate. You don't want to be anywhere near this clown show. And Sky Sports today has to stick a microphone under the nose of every single person with any kind of Chelsea connection to say, well, exactly how much of a basket case is this club right now? Like, this is not what you want as a club. You're not projecting calm. You're not projecting that you know what you're doing. And I read kind of like, I think it was Ben Jacobs who put out a report saying he'd heard what the Chelsea hierarchy are looking for in terms of a young, dynamic, progressive manager who wants to work within the structure. They basically just described Graham Potter. You had him, and you got rid of him. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, until they sort out everyone above them, they've got as much chance of hiring Paul McKenna, let alone Kieran McKenna.
There we are. There is. We're here because of NordVPN. I'll talk about NordVPN in a second or two. Manchester United's football club, Josh, are in some quarters 8-1 to beat Manchester City Football Club in normal time on Saturday in the FA Cup final. It's hard to put into words how utterly ridiculous that state of affairs is. Yeah. 8-1 in some places it beggars belief that it's come to that for them. I have genuinely, there's been lots of moments, I think, not least when we put 7 past them, or when we put 5 past them, or on the occasions where we put 4 past them, or when City have put 6 past them. There's been lows in loads of weird ways. I think if tomorrow's final goes as that suggests, even though it's still you got to an FA Cup final, I would argue it could well just be the lowest ebb to date. There is also a live chance their City rivals humiliate them on the biggest stage in front of the eyes of the world.
Yeah, and the thing is, the reason it won't feel like the lowest ebb, especially if you're a Manchester United fan who's lived this journey, is that this has become normal to them now. Genuinely, like the 8-1 difference between them and Manchester City is normal now, and they can do, United can do all the 115 charges, and there's obviously things around that
no, loads to be said. Yeah.
Just in terms of how far ahead City are of basically everybody. But there's a big chasm there because of also the basket case that is Manchester United Football Club, and that's the sort of most, I guess, hilarious bit for me going into a game like Saturday is just the amount of like hopelessness around that side of.
There's no bad outcome on Saturday.
Exactly.
There's no great one, let's be clear, but there's no bad outcome.
And they're like they're divided over whether they should sack the manager. They're divided over which players they should sell or let go in the summer. My starting place would be all of them and work backwards from that. And I throw Ten Hag into that as well, to be honest. Like there's nothing hopeful about Manchester United at the moment. You can maybe go down to sort of singular players. You can look at like a Kobbie Mainoo or somebody like that and sort of hang your hat over him for the future. But there's every chance he gets mismanaged into the ground if you're not careful as well. So there's loads of them to be genuinely fearful for on Saturday, but then also going into the future as well.
We're going to laugh at Man United more in a second. Before then, we've got the opportunity to do it on this Friday because of NordVPN. So if you go to nordvpn.com/TAW, you can sign up there to get Nord to be the VPN that you use of choice. People around here use it. We'll come on to that in a second or two. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's got all the positives that you would expect, including being able to mask your online activity so that you're not hounded with various cookies and things like that. I spend all my life these days rejecting cookies, which, as a man of my portly shape,
it just feels wrong.
Just feels so wrong. So that's one of the things that NordVPN is excellent for, but it's also excellent for watching stuff overseas. And I was shocked, and I mean shocked, to discover the basketball is still going. There's still 4 teams left in the playoffs. I presume the new season started. I actually genuinely sat down with the used to before and went, well, who do we fancy then for the new season? And they looked at me like I had 2 heads. But you were watching the basketball last night.
Yeah. Well, I watched some of it. The one before the Western Conference Finals the night before, that was a really good game. Yeah. Boston looked like they're gonna finally get to do what they've been trying to do for the last 5 years or so. But it's fascinating because this, as much as you...
Sorry, Boston are in the Western Conference Finals?
No, they're in Eastern.
Thank Christ for that. Otherwise, this was going to get too complicated.
That's why the Eastern's not exciting. It's because Boston are the best team.
Basically, okay. So, but... it's ironic that you find this bit so confusing and strange and hard because this is my favourite time of this season.
No, I just thought it finished.
It's so much of it.
Yeah, it's like in the same way with the Olympics is happening when it's like every day you wake up, it's like, okay, there's something. What's this? What's the new game today? With the playoffs, there's a game every day. So it's like every day there is a new story. Every day there is something to get your teeth into. Every night there's something to watch. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, nordvpn.com/TAW to be able to watch the American coverage, which, let's be frank about this, is excellent. I mean, as someone who's been over there, I think that the pre-game and post-game stuff in the US genuinely is the business. I'm not quite sure about the stuff they put out at, say, 11 o'clock on a day like today, when I would describe it as sports shouting. But you are with the Anfield Wrap, where we don't sports shout, we sports chat. There is, to talk softly, there is more... with the Manchester United Football Club thing going into this FA Cup final. I mean, there's 2 funny outcomes. One is United sneak it 2-1 with a rearguard action and just get an 89th minute winner, which I'd genuinely be fine with and laugh my head off about. And afterwards, everyone acts like everything's okay. They're thoroughly outclassed. Goalkeeper's been throwing himself everywhere. Hit bar, hit post, sliding blocks, and then afterwards everyone will say, I'll tell you what though, they still know how to win. I'm fine with that one, Mo. Ten Hag keeps his job. There's another very, very funny outcome, which I want to be really clear about, is Manchester City 14, Manchester United 0.
I mean, when you were talking about 8-1, I genuinely thought you were talking about the scoreline. Like that's kind of where I'd be looking at it, because I'm like you. If City are going to win, they have to absolutely annihilate them. Like, I'm not having a 1-0 City victory. Like, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch it anyway, let's be frank. But a 1-0 City victory would just waste of everybody's time.
Yes.
Like,
I would just keep the ball for ages. Fuck that.
So there's going to be something that I do want to see, though. I want to see if it gets to 15 seconds and the Man United fans start cheering because they haven't conceded a goal like they did last season after 14 seconds, was it?
Yeah. That was Ilkay Gundogan with Magic. You can't. There's no.
Bless
no
him.
allowing for that. Who's going to win the playoffs?
Ooh.
No, not the basketball one. Sunday.
Oh, right. Well, I'm hoping my sister's not watching this because I think Southampton are going to win.
I think Southampton are better than Leeds, but Leeds have got more good players.
Yes, but I think that Leeds have also got more pressure in this situation. I think they are expected to win because they were so close to going up previously. They've been one of the form teams all season long. I do think if they don't go up, there's more of the players who are going to be looking at the exit door than Southampton. I think Russell Martin's building something at Southampton. You can say to them all, look guys, we'll go up as champions next season and we can all do it again. They're a younger squad, I think, than Leeds are for the most part. So I think you can sell it in that way. And also, Leeds, when the pressure's on them that most, there's when they seem to crumble, and so I'm going all in on Southampton.
Yeah, I want Southampton to come up as well. Russell Martin seems like a great fella.
Yeah.
And I've just got no faith Daniel Farke keeps Leeds up. It's a big project to do next season. We all need to put our backs into it. Josh, anybody got any questions?
Jazz D was on before even the Anfield Wrap had the chance to say, all right, Red, saying first topic should be in all caps, this is Mo Salah is almost bald now. Mo Salah is almost bald now.
I mean, as a guy who's been bald for the best part of 20 years, I really shouldn't have too much negative to say about it. But I've seen the picture. And
but his hair brought us so much joy, Mo. That's the thing that's upset me the most about this.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan.
He went to barbers to kill our joy.
but
he's
what I do...
5'7", he's football heaven. Oh, please don't take Mo Salah's hair away.
Nice.
Mo Salah's hair. Go on.
The thing is, right, we all have eyes, so we could see the peaks were starting to retreat a little bit. But he had enough mane that when he shook it, you could still cover all those. Gorgeous. It wasn't having to kind of wake up in the morning and do comb overs or anything. He still had a good couple of years, I think, of a full bush of hair. But it's a drastic move, and it could be business move, and you're okay with that. What I wonder though, I don't want it to be a kind of a Samson, Fernando Torres, no longer blonde type situation.
No, I think it might just be it's the summer, fuck it. Move.
I hope it's a deep fake, personally, to be honest. We do live in scary times indeed. Greg Walsh said he's just getting his washing off the line in New Brighton. I don't know what the fuck's happening in New Brighton. The weather's been awful here for 3 days.
Off, Greg.
Greg,
I'm furious with you.
Where's your washing bin?
Genuinely, Greg, honestly, fuck off.
Absolutely, man.
Honestly, if you've got your own microclimate going on over there, don't tell the rest of us. It's horrendous.
I presume he lives in like a Simpsons movie-style dome.
I'm wearing a jumper. Jesus.
Lot of love for the jumper, by the way.
I'm going away for three days over the weekend, and I absolutely love some of Greg's weather. If you can find it and just bring it with me.
You simply can. He's the person crowded house we're singing about.
Final one. John Nadder says, "Why are Brits obsessed with hair?" It's because loads of us don't have it, John. That's been Talking Reds from me.
Excellent stuff. Covered all the bases. I think have been covered with this Talking Reds. Thank you very much to NordVPN. Thank you very much to Mo Stewart. Thank you very much to Josh Sexton. The other thing that Arne Slot has got to work out is how he's going to turn the entire squad bald between now and the 1st of July. It's a lot of pressure, but he's already got to Mo Salah up. Arne Slot's bald red. See you later.